Okay, guys, welcome back to All Nerd Everything. My name is Craig, and if you are new here, welcome back to my channel where I discuss everything from your favorite film, TV show content, including anime, also comic books, professional wrestling, and with the Oscars coming on tomorrow night. I haven't watched the Oscars since 2020 because they have made a lot of bad decisions when it comes to not only their nominations but also their wins over the last I don't know how many decades. There there have been more times where they got it wrong than more times than they've got it right. And once again, this is one of those years where they got several things wrong. So, as the title says, I wanted to discuss my top 10 snubs of this year's Oscars. Let me just say that this is just my opinion. I have not seen everything that is nominated. I haven't seen A Complete Unknown just because I'm very tired of biopics. I haven't seen Sing Sing yet, but a friend of mine keeps telling me how magnificent it is. I need to watch that. Haven't seen I'm Still Here. That's also on my list. And the brew list is just way too long. And I'm just not a fan of Adrian Brody after what he did to Holly Berry. Even though that was 20 years ago, I still have not let it go. But starting with number 10, Long Legs. And Long Legs, I think, while this is a very divisive film because some people hate it, some people love it, some people are just think it's okay, and I'm one of those people that think, first of all, Michael Monroe, she's one of my favorite actresses. I absolutely love her. She crushes every single role that she's given, and I think that this film I enjoy the look of this film. I'm not a fan of the ending, but I do think the two nominations that it should have received is original screenplay and cinematography. The way this movie is shot is so beautiful. It feels like I'm watching a crime scene. It feels like I'm watching something on the investigation Discovery Channel where they do a lot of those like murder and mystery like TV shows and stuff like that. And it also feels like I'm watching a VHS tape, which this film looks just splendid, and I think it should have also received original screenplay. If it those are the two noms I would have given it if it had to get into anything. But yeah, that for number 10, Long Legs for original screenplay and cinematography. For number 9, I watched the TV Glow. This film was phenomenal. There are a few things I missed because I'm not a part of the if you're in the LGBT community, you're gonna understand this movie way more than on the someone who's not queer or trans, and even the director of this film was a trans person. So in my opinion, this is the film that should have been nominated and not Amelia Perez. Amelia Perez is one of the worst movies that represents it's just a terrible example of like fake representation. And I watched the TV Glow is 10 times better. The cinematography, the screenplay, I think it should have gotten in for cinematography, screenplay, director, and even picture. So those are what I would have nominated. I watched the TV Glow for, and I just love watching people explain the ending to the movie to me because, like I said, since I'm not a part of the LGBTQ community, I like hearing people from that community explain their experience of the film and what it represented to to them. So this was easily one of the best films of 2024, and the fact it didn't get nominated for anything, but Amelia Perez did, that just goes to show how disconnected a lot of people in Hollywood is. So yes, number 9 is I Watch the TV Globe. Number 8, Naomi Scott for Best Actress for Smile 2. I've gone on record saying that Naomi Scott puts a phenomenal performance in Smile 2. It's better than Smile 1, and also it's her best performance to date. The cinematography is great. The opening scene is really, it really grabs your attention, and I love it. The score is great, and Naomi Scott's performance, she just gives such a terrifying a terrifying performance. And as opposed to the first one, this one making the host a pop singer who's struggling from addiction, who's not trying to disappoint or let down her fans or anyone else around her. It really shows the struggle of being someone in the spotlight. So Naomi Scott crushed this role, and it's a shame this didn't get any nods, because Naomi Scott easily gave the performance of her career, and it's not getting highlighted because I guess they thought that since Demi Moore is gaining traction for The Substance, and since Demi Moore is nominated for a horror film, I guess they figured, well, we don't need another nomination for another horror film. But I think that this should have been credited for at least something. But yeah, number 8, number 8, Naomi Scott for Best Actress for Smile 2. Number 7, Bill Skarsgård for Best Supporting Actor for Nosferatu. I totally forgot that Bill Skarsgård was in this film when I was watching it. I saw this film twice, and the makeup transformation, and even the way he slouches, the way he moves, the way he it evokes his voice to display dominance and power and strike fear in everyone. It is just completely amazing, and I totally forgot that it was him until the credits rolled, and when I was reading everyone's names and who they played, I totally forgot that he was in this film. And yes, Nosferatu did get in, but it got in for the subcategories, like makeup, hair and makeup, cinematography. I believe it also got in for costume and production, but Nosferatu should have gotten more than just those nominations. It easily should have got Best Supporting Actor for Bill Skarsgård, because he is easily, in my opinion, one of the best character actors in Hollywood, and his transformation into the characters that he plays are really haunting, and I love it. So number 7, Bill Skarsgård for Nosferatu. Number 6, Civil War. And I think Civil War, just like Longlegs, is very divisive. Some people wanted Civil War to focus on what the title of the film was about, but it was more so about the photographers and how dangerous it is to have your own to be a photographer and put out these stories where you're going to be very criticized for it. Everyone's going to have their opinion on something, and you putting your opinion out there for the whole world to see, especially when it comes to politics, very dangerous. And it actually reminded me of the Trump's first election, I believe, and a lot of photographers and journalists were getting beat up at the Trump rally and getting sent death threats for, just stating their opinions on Trump and why they dislike him. So I think this was great for that kind of film. And it should have gotten in for, in my opinion, if they weren't going to nominate it for the acting, I think it should have gotten in for screenplay, original screenplay, cinematography, and sound design. And the cinematography is great because it feels like it feels like I'm flipping through a photo collage, like a photo album. And even the sound design of the cameras clicking, and even doing certain scenes, doing fight scenes, the explosions, and other things like that. It's really great. It's a great film to observe. So I think Civil War easily should have been nominated for those categories. Next up, for number 5, you have Zendaya for Best Actress for Challengers. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Challengers, but Zendaya's performance, this is one of the first times I did not see Zendaya at all. All 3 of the characters are terrible, but this movie made me hate Zendaya's character so much that just shows how great that she is as an actress. And to think that Challengers didn't get any kind of recognition, I was actually pretty surprised by that. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the film. It didn't end up in my top 10. However, I easily would have replaced, there are a few movies, I would have replaced Carla Sofia Gascon and put in Zendaya. Because, have you guys not seen Amelia Perez? Do I need to spend any more time on that film? But yeah, Zendaya, so far Challengers is probably her best performance that she has put in so far. So I was very surprised that this did not get any recognition for anything. Next up, number 4, Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor for Dune Part 2. Now, I did not see A Complete Unknown. I don't know that much about Bob Dylan, but apparently from a lot of people that saw the film, it's not that accurate to what Bob Dylan is, or what kind of person Bob Dylan is. And some people were saying that it was inaccurate to his life, and they didn't capture the most important things about Bob Dylan, which isn't surprising because a lot of biopics do that. And I'm just very exhausted and burnt out from biopics, so I'm going to take a break for a while. But in my opinion, the performance that Timothée Chalamet should have gotten nominated for was Dune Part 2. I saw this film twice in theaters, and no, Timothy in Dune Part 2 is not a white savior at all. It's actually the complete opposite. He's a colonizer. Go back and watch the film if you guys, missed that. But Dune Part 2 was definitely his best performance, in my opinion. I'm glad he got the SAG Award for Best Actor for A Complete Unknown. Like I said, I don't have an interest in watching that because I'm burnt out from biopics. But I think that if it was Dune Part 2 he was nominated for, I would have appreciated the nomination a lot more. But let me know what you guys think, if you agree or disagree. Next up, for number 3, Lily Rose Depp, Best Actress for Nosferatu. Now, Lily Rose Depp, phenomenal performance. Definitely proved that she is one of the best Nepo babies. I don't even remember her character's name in Nosferatu. God, saw the movie twice and I'm already blanking, but her performance was freaking haunting as hell. I mean, just seeing the transformations that she was going through with Nosferatu possessing her body was just so freaking scary. And she did all of that herself, no VFX or anything like that. Oh, so sorry about that. But yeah, like I was saying, Nosferatu, another horror film, and horror films don't get nominated a lot during the Academy, and if they are, they're in the subcategories. And Nosferatu was one of those films that should have gotten in for damn near everything, in my opinion. And like I said, normally if a horror film is nominated in one of the main categories like acting, they're normally not going to use more than one actor in a horror film in the same category. So you're probably not going to see someone like Naomi Scott, Lily Rose Depp, and Demi Moore all in the same category for lead actress, because Demi Moore, she does definitely deserves this award, but Lily Rose Depp gave a phenomenal performance in Nosferatu, and it was one of my favorite films of last year. So yes, I think that Lily Rose Depp definitely deserved a nomination for her great transformative performance in Nosferatu. Number two, next up, challengers again, but challengers for Best Picture. A lot of people, once again, were surprised, including me, that this didn't get in for anything. Now, narratively, I'm not a fan of this film just because of the constant time jumps. It's just more, it's more annoying than confusing. I was more concerned about what was happening in the present than in the past. I didn't really care about anything. I didn't really care about any of the stuff happening in the past. If they would have broken the movie up in chapters and told it that way, I would have been more intrigued. But the way that they were setting the movie up you know what I'm trying to say. God, sorry, mumble mouth. But you know what I'm trying to say. But Challengers, great film, but this should have easily gotten in for score. Cinematography, the way this movie is shot is incredible, and the performances are great, and I love the way I love the first person POV shots of them playing tennis. A lot of the slow motion, it was cool at first. It kind of got out of hand when they started to overuse it. But other than that, the movie is still shot very beautifully, and it definitely should have gotten in for picture, director, everything else. But yeah, number two, challenges for Best Picture. And finally, the number one snub that everyone has been talking about, and that's Denis Villeneuve. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. Let me know if I'm effing his last name up. But Denis Villeneuve for Best Director for Dune Part 2. How does Dune Part 2 get in, but the only award it's missing is Director? How is that possible? What is going on? The world building that Denis did with Dune Part 2 was absolutely amazing. The world building, the character development with the Freemans and Timothée Chalamet's character was absolutely amazing. I think that the ending to this film is possibly one of the best endings of any film that I've seen, and I can't wait for Dune Messiah. This was spectacular. I mean, I love Dune. I saw it twice in theaters. It deserved the nominations that it got. I still think it should have gotten in for supporting actress for Rebecca Ferguson, lead actor for Timothy, and most importantly, director for Dennis Villeneuve. But yeah, that's my list. Let me know what you guys think. Did I miss anything? What are some films or performances that got snubbed that you would have liked to see nominated? Let me know your thoughts, and who are you rooting for at the Oscars? Until then, guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to stay updated with more movie, TV show, and comic book news and reviews.